Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Getting that energy back, reclaiming it.
Yep.
Reclaiming
Trying to get my
that
energy up.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
recording
pinching
a
myself.
podcast at the end of the day.
Burning my arm. Gonna burn my arm.
Yep, shoving my hand into glass.
Yeah.
Chewing on staples.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's such a good office tip though for staying awake.
Yeah, no, if you're low on like no dose or there's no caffeine around, you just pop some staples or some thumbtacks into your mouth, just chew them up, give them a little chew.
And if you really need to swallow them, then you have the anxiety of knowing that your stomach is, probably
That'll keep you up
problems.
that'll keep you up for days.
yeah, that's definitely a
exactly.
day's worth of anxiety and panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Another episode of Hypecast.
Hypecast.
Oh, it's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host David Bell.
And I'm guest Starline Hodge.
You are.
Welcome, Star. How are you?
I'm good, same old. I mean,
Yeah.
weird pandemic shit, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're all just sort of waiting to get, shut back down
Locked
again.
back inside again.
Pretty much.
I was talking to Hannah about this, is that, like, it would have been remarkable if we didn't. Like, I'm not saying it's good, and there's a lot of people who suck in the country, but, like, it would be pretty remarkable if the pandemic was over. That would be something. Like, it makes sense that we're going to have to deal with more bullshit for, like, probably a few more years. It'll be back and forth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is definitely like a 5-year-ish problem.
Yeah. It's still not, like, I'm not excusing people's behavior, but even if everybody did really well, it would still probably be a problem. It'd be less of a problem. But, yeah, I don't know. I think people shouldn't be bummed about it.
We'd be on a way faster. There are plenty of other countries that were at where we are right now last summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't great, but the fact that we aren't great is part of, I think, it to an extent. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to make excuses. The point is that I don't think people should be as devastated as they probably are.
Just don't
It still sucks.
Never have high expectations. Just keep them low.
Yeah, keep them.
I mean,
yeah.
it depends. It just depends.
keep those eyes on the dirt, and then be pleasantly surprised when there's not dirt. Right?
That's how I've lived my entire life.
It's fine, guys.
Yeah.
Is that the extent of our "How are we doing" section?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's good enough. I think that's all they deserve to hear.
All right. Well, let's thank some producers then. Let's get right to it. Let's big shout out to Children Love the Meat Millie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I bet they do.
Yep. Thank you to Grumblebee.
Woo.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Duck Garby. Thank you, Duck. Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid. Thank you to Del Griffith, the shower curtain fella.
Aw.
Thank you to Lef. Thank you to Seismic Charge Noise. Thank you to Jake. Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Jones. Thank you very much. Thank you to the baby from Eraserhead. Thank you to Chiz Lily Tits. Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to Ruizy.
Mm-hmm.
Big thank you.
All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Davey Francis for the revenge. Thank you to
Thank
MVB. Thank you to Chester's
Thank you.
Prophet. Thank you to definitely
you.
not Guillermo del Toro. Thank you to
you.
Brian, who Tom knows.
Yes.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Yes.
Thank you to Steven.
Yeah.
Thank you to Down Home Chicken.
Peacock.
Thank you to Han Toomey, the Confused Cyborg.
Also, yes.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Yeah.
Thank you to Happy Ed 209.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tom and Dave are good writers. Follow them at Collider and Some More News.
Not wrong. They're not wrong.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
And thanks to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, let's jump into this week's delicious crop of trailers.
We got a lot of trailers.
We got a lot of trailers. This first one might be the most confounding trailer I have ever seen in my entire life.
That's why it's here.
Oh,
Yeah, I
good.
was real surprised by this trailer.
Because it's not like this is getting a lot of buzz. I just saw it and I was like, well, we're gonna have to talk about this trailer, and this is for C.I. Ape. First of all, great name. Nailed it on the name.
Solid
right?
punt. They understood one half of making a monkey movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second half of making a monkey movie is to use a monkey.
Right.
But instead, what C.I. Ape has done is CGI a photorealistic chimpanzee in just doing the things that you would normally see a real chimp do. Like picture the movie Ed with that chimp that plays baseball, only they've replaced it with a CGI chimp that still behaves like a real chimp, and that's C.I. Ape.
Yeah. Listen.
Why is the monkey CGI, Dave?
I'm gonna defend it. I want to defend it because one, I think the C.I. Ape is probably gonna do stunts like C.I. Ape stunts.
Well, then that's where the
It's
CGI
gonna have
could
gunfights.
be.
Well, here's the other thing. The stories I have heard about Hollywood monkeys are dark.
Sure.
Like, the way to train an ape is a dark process. They don't like it. They
Then
don't want to do
why
it.
make this movie? The only
yes.
appeal that these movies have is that they have real monkeys wearing stupid costumes and doing dumb bullshit.
Well, because you're still going to have an ape. You got to tell the story of the CIA ape.
That's true.
You can't. Yeah. I just think what we're seeing is we're seeing the rise. This is what I think is interesting. Is that and sorry, I'm coming in strong with this because I have big thoughts on this one. Big thoughts. It's interesting to see badly done Rise of the Planet of the Apes style CGI. It's better though. Like, what I think is remarkable is that this shitty movie, the special effects in it would have been revolutionary at one point, right? It would have blown your fucking mind.
Correct. Yes.
And it's interesting to see that it's getting better and better to the point that our shittiest of movies still has pretty... like, there's moments of this where it does, in fact, look like a real CI ape. Not a lot of movies, or moments, but a couple stills here and there, you know what I mean? Like, we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, what about the in-between? They could have used a puppet.
They could have used a puppet.
A puppet monkey, I would have been way more on board.
Yeah, or like a person in a suit. Give me that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. These are all good options.
It's like it's like making Air Buddies without actual puppies to me. This movie,
Yes.
it confounds me that they've made a movie about a wacky chimp who's a secret agent, and it's not a real chimp. It's a photorealistic digital chimp.
Yeah, I just think a part of me is very happy that a real animal wasn't harassed and abused.
Why make it photorealistic then? Make it like a fanciful secret agent monkey. Like, why make it why take the time to make it move and look like a real chimp? This movie is fascinating.
They could have leaned into more of the cartoony aspect of it. I mean, it already talks.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I think that would take me out of the experience.
This bad guy in that movie seems interesting, though. I was like, who?
Oh, yeah. The Nazi?
The Nazi adjacent guy? Nazi mullet guy?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, this is definitely like kids movie cartoonish, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he's a real Rocky and Bullwinkle villain. I did not hate him in the trailer.
I'm looking. Yeah. I'm looking at other character names. I don't know if he plays the character Chrome Dome, but that's a character in this.
In a film like C.I. Ape, Dave, I would expect Chrome Dome to have a metal head of some kind.
Yes, me too. Dr. Devious is a character in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character simply called Mustache. Queen Evil is another character.
Oh.
Alpha Dog.
I take it all back. This is the best movie of all time, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's got real Monster Trucks vibes.
Yeah, what's happening here?
Yeah, it took 3 people to write.
Oh, no.
This is written by 3 people.
Hell yes.
Oh, no.
It's the idea was too big, like you were saying. It's too big.
Yeah.
But
It's too big.
I mean, doesn't this give everybody hope, though? Like, anybody could really write anything, and someone might enjoy it enough to put money behind it.
Yeah. One of the... Holy fucking shit. One of the writers... You know those straight to... Oh my goodness. You know those straight to DVD serial killer movies that used to come out?
Yes.
This is... One of the writers wrote Ed Gein, Ted Bundy, The Hillside Strangler, Starkweather, and then C.I. Ape.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I hope they imbue some of that darkness
was about
into
to say.
CIA.
I hope it's no different.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's make this the summer of C.I. Ape.
We could do that.
When does it come out?
Is it? Yeah, that's what I was about to...
Oh, I don't know. That's feels like information we should have, but we don't.
September 28th.
That's too far. I will have forgotten completely about it by then.
Do you think it's theaters? I'll brave the Delta variant.
It is not.
Okay.
It says very explicitly at the end, coming soon to DVD and VOD.
All right, that checks out.
This skipped theaters.
All right.
It's coming straight into your home.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I'm not surprised.
I mean, we could rent out a theater
and make them show this.
Yeah.
We brought our own DVD copy of CIA. Now put it the fuck on. Eat popcorn to this horse shit.
The director also did a bunch of horror and thrillers.
Of course, this
and
is they're just scooped up. These are TV writers and TV directors.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This deserves the spotlight, I think.
Mm-hmm. That deserved the top spot. No, this was a solid choice. I'm glad you exposed us all to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Any other thoughts?
No, let's move on.
No other thoughts. All right, let's talk about Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
Midnight Mass. Star, I feel like this isn't your thing.
No, but I will say it was pretty. I was like, okay. Like, I know for sure horror, like... You know, religious horror in particular, but it was very pretty. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
Right. This is coming from Mike Flanagan, which he's real hot shot in horror. I like everything he does so far.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, if you watched Haunting of Hill House or Haunting of Bly Manor, he's responsible for both of those as well.
Yeah. He also did Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. He has the ability, and I know Star, it's still not probably going to make you watch any of his stuff.
Oh, no.
But he is very beautiful. Like, his stuff is good looking from an artistic perspective. He also does something that I feel like not enough horror does, is he puts real drama and emotion and human emotion and sadness into his stories.
Yes.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he gives it a shot. Like, he fucking tries. And that's pretty important.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
That's why, like, while watching it, I was just like, oh, this is definitely horror, not necessarily my thing, but this seems good. I was just like, this looks like a good movie, just not it's not for me, but it looks not bad. Although I was going to say, I'm like, I feel like every time I've come on this podcast, there's been like an Antichrist movie.
That's
that checks
Dave.
out.
Dave chases him down.
Okay, because I was just like, what's happening? Like, is this like a thing from the past decade that we're just having an uptick, or is it just kind of like always been like a genre?
It's always been, I would say. This is a pretty big one. This isn't something I had to like find. Yeah. But like Antichrist, I think the reason why I've always speculated this is that it comes with the Bible comes with its a built-in lore that makes it so that when you're writing a horror movie about it, you can sort of just, keep it on those rails. So I think that's why. But it can be lazy. Like, very often these types of things can be lazy. I'm guessing this isn't. I'm not even sure exactly what this is about.
Well, it's about an island, a small island community, and weird stuff starts happening right around the time this mysterious new priest shows up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, we'll it might not literally be Antichrist, but yeah, there's definitely the spooky religious iconography in it.
Yeah, there's some demons
like
and stuff going on and all of that. But like the shot in the trailer where like the guy's just trying to sleep and he sees the girl who's kind of like half digitized demon-esque thing, I was just like, oh, this is horrifying, but what is happening? I'm actually intrigued. Right. I was like, what is that? I've never seen that type of scary.
Yeah. Oh, that's Mike Flanagan. He doesn't shy away from like your jump scares and such. But he always, in terms of visuals, he always does shit that I'm like, oh, I haven't quite seen that before.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him stand out a lot of the time. Weirdly enough, I'm looking at his credits. After this series, there's another series called The Midnight Club.
Yes.
That must be related, right?
Actually, no. It was just a weird. The Midnight Club. It's like his version of Fear Street. It's a book. Oh. It's a book by Christopher Pike.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
He was like the other R.L. Stein of the 80s and 90s.
He's the Kmart R.L. Stein.
He actually started before R.L. Stein, but yeah, he wrote teen horror before R.L. Stein started with Fear Street.
Man, he must have been pissed.
Yeah,
probably.
He'd be pissed hearing me call it that for sure.
Probably. I mean, he's done all right for himself, but yeah, I'm sure it probably burns his ass a little bit that R.L. Stein gets associated with it. He's like, what am I, chopped liver?
Also, he was the first captain of the Enterprise.
He sure was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that series is actually based on Christopher Pike books. So it's just a weird it's just a weird coincidence. These two projects are otherwise not related.
Oh, weird. Well, I'm glad fucking Flanagan's doing that too.
Mm-hmm. He's
been
killing
on
it.
such a fucking streak.
Yeah.
I think the only thing of his the two that I can't even call them misses because they were both good. They just weren't my type of good. Was Hush and Gerald's Game. Those were both there. Again, they're delightful. They're great. But it was just like, I like his supernatural shit more.
Oh, I liked those. I was less. Well, there's supernatural shit in Gerald's Game. I was actually listening to the Dr. Sleep. I was a little bit let down by that, but
that's interesting. Yeah,
that's just me.
The most interesting thing he's done is the Ouija sequel because that's a movie that you write off in your mind.
It should be horseshit, and you watch it and you're like, oh, this is really good. What happened?
Yeah, and then you see a director and you're like, oh, I see.
Why is Ouija Part 2 good?
Yeah.
Wait,
why is this?
So Ouija Part 1 horrible, Ouija Part 2 fantastic.
Yes, Ouija the Origin of Evil is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, it's legit good. It's still
it has no reason.
horror.
It has no business being good, and yet it is.
Yes. What happened that I heard is that it's Hasbro like produced the Ouija movies, and they after the first one they actually were like, wow, that sucked. Like they actually recognized that it sucked, and they went and they were like, who's good? Can we pay them a lot of money? That's what I heard, is that they basically went to Mike Flanagan and they're like, can you make this good? We will literally give you complete freedom.
That's amazing.
The only thing you have to do is put a Ouija board in it. Just make it Ouija related, for the love of God. And I believe that's how that came to be. Yeah. And it's PG-13. He makes PG-13 stuff, doesn't he?
He's made a few, yeah.
Yeah. I'm. Point is, I'm super fucking excited for this. I've enjoyed everything he's done.
Yeah,
like his worst work is still better than most horror. So he's great.
I know it's completely beyond your wheelhouse, Star, but you might check out his 2 Netflix series, Hill House or Bly Manor.
It would be really tough for you. But they're really
but they're like
good.
really good stories, and like there's a lot of shit in there that I know you would enjoy, but it is spooky.
There's a lot of shit in there I know you will not enjoy.
Hate. Yeah.
You say this as if like I still haven't watched Beyond Stranger Things season 1. Like I was like season 1, I was just like, that was scary enough for me. I'm good forever on this series. I'm good.
Right.
I am all set.
It'd be tough. It'd be real tough.
Oh no. You know what? Maybe I'll just look up the Wikipedia article. That's what I do for most horror, so I understand context.
What if you put it on in go to like a Walmart and put it on one of their TVs, so it's like public, it's really bright, it's really like
just sit down and start watching it.
Yeah, just start watching.
What are they gonna do?
Like, I need a safe place to watch a horror movie.
Maybe that's quite. Maybe I'm not gonna say that I haven't watched like horror stuff honestly, bringing it back to Stranger Things. I watched that at my old job in a very bright fluorescent room where people could kind of walk by all the time, and I was still slightly getting up away from my computer every 10 minutes or so because I was stressed out.
Perfect.
Well, speaking of which, the next trailer is for American Crime Story. Not Stranger Things. That's next. But
this... new season of American Crime Story. Impeachment. It's about the Bill Clinton's impeachment and the Monica Lewinsky scandal. I'm into American Crime Story. It's the only thing that Ryan Murphy does that I actually enjoy. Like, everything else is pretty schlocky, but American Crime Story, the first 2 seasons, the OJ one and then the Gianni Versace one, were both really good.
When he has historical context to work from, he does way better than when he has to make it up in his head.
Yes.
I think the other wrinkle is he doesn't write American Crime Story.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think what's surprising about this series is that it feels odd, unlike the fucking someone doing a Trump movie or something. They pick these things that have happened a while ago, and they actually give us a new perspective on them. They're able to get at certain aspects that maybe the public wasn't thinking about at the time. I only saw the OJ one, and the OJ one was very good at pointing out there's racism involved. I mean, he did it. There's misogyny involved with what's her name, Marcia Clark.
Yeah.
They pointed out the issues that really after the fact we should feel kind of ashamed of how we treated people at the time. This is no different. This is produced by Monica Lewinsky,
right?
Which they had that's such a great idea. The person that feels exploited in this, and I don't, exploited isn't the right word, but it's Clinton. Clinton is the person that they're fuck him. That's how it feels at least, where they're we know we don't care. He's not interesting. What's interesting is what Monica Lewinsky went through, what the Linda Tripp stuff was, and they're able to show these things in a perspective that I don't think we necessarily think about, or definitely didn't think about at the time.
Definitely not at the time, yeah.
And especially people our age in particular, when all this stuff was going on, we were kids, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the idea of all of this is just oh yeah, she's 22. She's a whole adult, and now looking back, I'm oh no, she was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Holy
was
shit.
She was maybe 6 or 7 years older than me, and I at the time I was oh, she's she might as well have been 42.
Exactly.
Because when you're a teenager, that seemed I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's
wild.
Yeah, it definitely like has that thing. So when I saw that, I was worried when I was like, oh no, it's about this whole thing. And then when I saw Monica's the producer, I was just like, oh good. Good.
Yeah.
She's kind of great. I follow her on Twitter. She's fantastic.
Oh, I do too. She's wonderful. And the fact that she's able to kind of have that sort of control over this, and like it feels like that's why it feels almost anti-exploitative, where it's like the person who was the butt of all the jokes, who was exploited by this story, gets to actually have her say.
Explain how she was feeling, and you get kind of really see that perspective outside of like a paparazzi angle, because that's all we got at the time. Because politically, all the politicians were like, "Fuck, how do we like maneuver around this?" Versus like, "Hey, like this." Pretty much, baby adult did not understand the scope of everything that was going on, and she was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the fucking president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's President Clive Owen.
Yeah. Okay, I do want to talk about how Ryan Murphy with these shows, in some aspects of these shows, is like really obsessed with putting people in a lot of prosthetics and stuff, and it's just not necessary. Like they put because he has to put Sarah Paulson in absolutely everything. They just cram Sarah Paulson into like a big fat suit and glue all this stuff to her face, and it's like couldn't you just find an actor that looked like that?
Right.
Like if it's that important. And then the flip side of that is it doesn't matter if they like. I don't need Clive Owen to look like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, no, we understand who he is.
Yeah, I understand what actors are. Like in OJ, they cast Cuba Gooding Jr. to play OJ, who A, looks nothing like OJ Simpson, and B, is about 2 feet shorter than OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
So it's like this, like he's like the littlest guy in the courtroom, and it's the absolute opposite during the trial. Like Robert Shapiro should not be towering over OJ Simpson, but it doesn't matter because the show was good and the performances were good. They don't need to look exactly like the people. There's this weird fascination with that.
The funniest thing about it is with all the prosthetics, who he doesn't look like? He doesn't look like Clinton.
No.
Yeah.
Like, they covered him with this shit, and I'm like, I was sitting there like, is that still Clive Owen? Because I can't recognize Clive Owen. I definitely can't recognize Clinton.
Doesn't look like Clinton.
Either.
His voice. His Clinton voice is all right, though.
This makes me think if what's his name who played OJ just was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
He was just like, not going to do it.
Like, I'm not putting this shit on my face.
Yeah, he just
like, fine,
pulls out his Oscar. You're not gluing anything to my face.
He's like, no.
you want Cuba Gooding, you're getting Cuba Gooding. You're not gluing shit to Cuba's face.
Yeah.
Not unless you're making a sequel to Radio.
Right.
And then he'll do it.
Oh, Radio.
No Radio.
Mm-hmm. Or remember Murder of Crows? That whole movie is built around someone gluing shit to their face. Oh, that's a terrible movie. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I want to see this. Yeah, it's one of the only it's one of the only Ryan Murphy things that I'm always 100% on.
Mm-hmm.
They've been both seasons they've done so far have been really, really good. And I mentioned earlier that he doesn't write American Crime Story, and that's part of the reason why they take so long. I think it's been like 3 years in between each season almost.
Right.
That's true.
And he spoke about that briefly in an interview we did with him on Collider, where it's just like that's the scripts are what take so long. Like they have a team of researchers that do all the research, and then they just really, really work on the scripts. That's what takes the longest, which is good. They
also don't want to get sued either.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure, you don't want to get sued.
How do we make sure?
Yeah, I imagine they go to the people directly involved, which is how Monica Lewinsky got involved. Like, they have the right instinct to be like, let's get these people as involved as we can, and let's try to tell the story as objectively as we can, but while finding stories that it is interesting to see these angles that we haven't necessarily seen. So yeah, a lot of great instincts
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Stranger Things Season 4.
By the time this damn thing finally comes out, it comes out 2022. It's like a 30-second... They showed us like a couple of brief clips of the new season.
Yeah.
Because they've been filming it for like, I don't know, forever.
Right, and the kids are like 45.
The kids are like
older than us.
Half of them are dead now of old age.
Yeah.
They went to the old beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's season 4. Season 4 is they stumble onto the old beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still I like the story of these scrappy youngsters. It's fine.
These scrappy 19-year-olds now.
Yeah, these scrappy 19-year-olds. Let's see. I'm looking at Finn Wolfhard. He was born in 2002. It's a bummer that's a while ago, but you know. So yeah, he is 19. Almost 20.
Yeah, he's literally 19 years old.
Jesus fucking Christ. Isn't that a bummer on so many levels?
Well, isn't that going to make this season like more visually accurate to how like they would record teenagers in the 80s? Like, wouldn't it give off those vibes?
That's what I keep saying. Is I think what they're gonna do is since this one feels like a summer camp one, didn't they say it was a summer camp one? I forget where I got that from.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they're gonna play off of like Friday the 13th, and that would make sense. They're teenagers. Like I think they're gonna play off of teen movies of the time, and that would be smart of them, right? To like move the nostalgia up as they get older. And I think from what I've read, the creators seemed aware of the fact. Like I've seen several interviews where they're like, "Yeah, no, this is fine." Like where like they knew like people age. They didn't know about the pandemic, obviously, but I think they had it in their head like these people are going to get fucking old and hideous, and we're going to have to write that.
They're going to go through their lanky weird phase before they figure shit out.
Yeah. So
one of them's going to get into terrible music for a while.
Ooh, like performing?
Yeah.
Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't want to put that on any of them.
Doesn't Millie have a song or something? Isn't she trying to sing?
Oh, she might. I don't know,
really?
Actually.
It must be it's just such a bummer having to watch or having to grow up in front of everybody like this and getting to make dumb mistakes and they're just really public. It's just such a bummer. But whatever. They have money. So it's fine.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I really yes.
Who knows?
Who can say?
Yeah, there's all that news today about Britney Spears' conservatorship.
Right.
They might have
she's free now.
Well,
sort of. Her dad's not in control of it anymore, which is like good for her. Good. That's step one.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think the consensus of this show was people are like, after season 1 it goes downhill. And I don't know. I still have fun watching it.
I'm still enjoying it. It's just it will have been 3 years since the last season.
Yeah, it's got that issue that a lot of TV has where you're like, oh, new season of that?
I don't I don't need this to be the fucking Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like put out a season a year. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the pandemic is one thing, but I feels like they shot this pre-pandemic. Maybe not. I don't know. It would be amazing if halfway through the season they all get considerably older.
I think that's going to happen.
I think. Oh. Yeah, I think that's has to be the vibe of it, because especially if like they only shot some of it before pandemic and then they have to do pickups and then suddenly they're all.
I hope they couldn't hide it. And I hope it's really awkward and weird. And I hope it's within scenes, like shots, like where like they just get older in cutaways.
Yeah,
I want that.
Like
for
a reaction shot. He's suddenly like visibly a year older, and his voice is deeper.
Yeah. I want all of that.
We should go play TNT. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
All right, let's move on.
Copshop.
I don't know.
I thought this looked kind of fun, actually. Like just a weird like action thrill. Not is it a thriller? No.
It's like an action comedy.
Kinda,
it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why, because it's got a vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Tom, do you know who made this?
It's probably is it Carnahan?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Joe Carnahan.
Yep.
Who directed Stretch, the A-Team, Smokin' Aces.
Smokin' Aces.
Yeah, he has. There's this it's that genre of weird crime, which it can be done really badly, and it can be done really well. And Joe Carnahan is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
Funny, weird. It's not Guy Ritchie. It's weirder.
Yes.
It's weird crime.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of like Seven Psychopaths, like that kind of.
Yeah, Martin
tone.
McDonagh. It's definitely the same tone that he does. Yeah.
It's it features Joe Carnahan's producing partner Frank Grillo.
Yeah, it's got the grills.
Grillo is some kind of con man criminal who gets himself arrested in order to hide from assassin Gerard Butler. So Gerard Butler also gets himself arrested, and then lo and behold, a third assassin shows up who has also gotten himself arrested. And they're all trying to kill each other while being held in this police station.
A Joe Carnahan film about assassins competing?
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? Yeah, God, now I want fucking, what's his name in this?
Chris Pine?
No. Well, I'm sure Chris Pine is in it. Chris Pine is in a lot of Joe Carnahan stuff. He's great in Stretch. Stretch is a weird one. No, fucking Jeremy Piven. I want some shitty ass Jeremy Piven in this
with a terrible hairpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, Star, have you seen Stretch or Smokin' Aces or The Gray? The Gray is probably the one that stands out for me of his work.
I feel like I've seen bits of Smoking Aces. That's the one that sounded the most like I might have seen it, but I'm not remembering.
Chris Pine screeches into that and plays a fucking Nazi. Chris Pine as a Nazi is quite something.
Okay, then I definitely didn't see it. I thought it was a gambling movie. I was just like, is this some gambling movie I watched?
Oh, I think it has casino stuff.
There's stuff. It's about a bunch of hitmen trying to kill a magician played by Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, the role he was born to play.
Yeah.
Wait, see, that does sound familiar. I feel like I've seen it in a fever dream, or maybe I was high.
Right. Yeah, Stretch is a fun one because that's about a limo driver played by Patrick Wilson who has to deal with a insane passenger played by Chris Pine with a giant beard. It's delightful. The Gray is one of the only ones that's not out of its mind, or a different out of its mind. That's the one where it's just Liam Neeson fist fighting wolves.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that's a wolf movie, right? And he's just out in the middle of nowhere.
That one's actually pretty brutal. It's more, the tone is a little more serious than what he normally does. So I don't know. This I'm not particularly excited for this premise because he sort of already did it, but this does look fun.
Yeah, it's a fun trailer.
Yeah. It's got Jerry B.
It does. Jerry Butts.
Yeah. Who's the weird old guy?
That's Toby Huss. He's the bizarrely comedic dad from the new Halloween.
Oh, I forgot about him completely.
Yep.
But good for him.
Yeah. He's the guy that regularly breaks the film to deliver a joke that was clearly written by Danny McBride.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think this trailer actually isn't that well made.
Oh, well, it got me excited. Or at least it got me interested.
Yeah, same for me. I was like, I don't understand exactly what's happening, and I think I like that because you're not spoiling the movie for me, kind of thing.
Yeah, that is true. It felt like it was almost trying to not make it as weird as it super is, but I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again. Maybe I'm wrong. It's fine.
You probably are. Let's move on.
I'm probably wrong. All right. Worth.
That's
the name of the next trailer.
Oh, yeah. This is about Michael Keaton
Batman
giving people checks for their dead family members over 9/11.
This This is if you were like a teenager and you had to watch this in high school, it'd be the biggest bummer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when they put Schindler's List on in history class. You're like, this movie is good, but shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, man, this looks good. It looks sad, but it looks good, and I was excited about Stanley Tucci.
Oh yeah, the Tucci. You cannot go wrong with Stanley Tucci.
The writer wrote 3 of the Godzilla Kong movies.
Whoa!
Oh wait, no, wrote Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong.
So he wrote all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wrote all of them, and then the 9/11 one. This does look good. I'm ashamed to say I laughed at the intro, just watching Michael Keaton react to 9/11. There was just something really weird about that.
And it puts the date on screen. No, I get it. I get it. It was like, all right.
But yeah, this is every kind of boring, and I want to watch it. It's just going through finances and 9/11.
I feel like this is definitely going to be like award season bait type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it already had like festival laurels in the trailer, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I'm
looks
just wondering, good. It does look good. I was burned by The Report. Remember The Report?
I did not watch it, but yes.
Adam Driver learns about torture, and it's like similar, where it's like we're going to show the bureaucracy of sadness, and The Report actually put me to sleep. I was so pumped for The Report. And it put me right to sleep.
I think that might have been your first mistake.
What?
Was being pumped for The Report.
It's just perfect.
There's a pretty distinctly visible ceiling to that film.
Maybe it needed a Tucci in there.
Yeah, maybe a Tucci.
Yeah, a little Tucci to spice up the broth.
I just think of like All the President's Men. I really like that film. And that film is just fucking Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman like sitting in an office typing.
Yes, but it rules.
It rules. And so there's a way to make that shit thrilling. And that's why I was pumped for The Report. And now I'm like feel burnt. So I'm like, I don't know about this Worth. Are you gonna get me pumped for the victims of 9/11? Oh, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean, where it's just like
it's just going to end with a GoFundMe link. Please help everybody.
Basically, yeah. I don't know. Because like the question of the movie is how much is a person's life worth? Because Michael Keaton's in charge of dispersing funds to the family members of the victims of 9/11, which is, I think like 7,000, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's people, not dollars. So he has to determine how much to give each family, and he does it kind of the way you would do an insurance breakdown, where it's like, well, here's how much money they would have made if X, Y, and Z had they worked for this much longer. And obviously people push back against that, because when you're suddenly attaching a dollar value to a person's entire life, it feels gross, understandably so. But like I understand like the triumph angle of this movie, but like watching this trailer, all I could think about is like, well, what about all the people who died in like Katrina, and like what about all the people who die in way less sensational disasters every fucking month, every year in this country? They don't get anything.
I imagine that's something they're going to point out.
I hope so.
Because it's a weird thing, because asking how much a life is worth, in my head, the answer is 0, because lives are infinitely worth more than money. But of course, that's not a good answer when people need money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like obviously people should get money, but that's what makes the decision so weird, because it's so abstract. It's such an abstract thing to have to calculate.
Yeah.
Because it ultimately is like, no, we can't put a value. That's the whole thing.
I would have just said, like, give everybody across the board $1 million tax-free, done. Like,
yeah.
Like, just, here you go. Like,
right.
Your life will be changed, ideally for the better.
I do like that they point out, because this is legalizing gay marriage, that there's a guy who's like, yeah, he was my partner for life, but legally speaking, I don't get anything. And I thought that was I'm glad they pointed that out. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fucking heavy.
Oh,
this is going to be really heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe they can make it like the movie The Accountant, where Michael Keaton fights crime on the side. Probably not directly related.
Right, like he has to start being Batman.
Yeah.
To build up the purse of funds he has to disperse.
So this is a Birdman prequel? Birdman
Sure.
Either
or, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I bet this is probably wicked good.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, fine. The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf. So are Witchers like, they're like, it's like Harry Potter? They're like, it's like a school?
Yeah, you
kinda.
Yeah. Did you watch the show?
No.
I did.
I don't have any Witcher experience.
You basically get sold, traded, however, you wind up in this career path, and you have to do this thing where they basically imbue you with potions and poison and stuff that kills most candidates. And if you pass that, you go to a specific school to be trained to be a Witcher. There's a number of them. The Wolf is one of the schools. That's where Geralt is from.
Ah.
Yeah, you would like The Witcher. I stumbled upon it because Max started watching it, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then I just kept looking over and seeing what's his face. And I'm like, he's real pretty. And then I just kept watching. I was like, this is really good.
It is. It's pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
That was my second question. Is it somehow a rule, or they're like, you're a Witcher, you got to take like a beefcake bath? Like you gotta, because there's one in here.
Yes.
He takes a bath.
I was just like, oh, good. It's part of the show is that all of them have to take a naked hot tub bath.
Yeah. It's like it kind of goes the part of the Witcher's DNA, like the book series and then the games that they made based on it. It like shares its DNA with like fantasy romance novels.
Right.
So there's lots of fucking in it.
Yeah, he's got a real dirty dick.
Yeah.
Witcher.
Yeah, because in this universe, both Witchers and sorceresses are they're sterile, so they can just fuck like crazy, and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. He can just blast his seed all over the land.
Yeah.
Well, he's not blasting anything, but it's still working.
Yeah.
He's
not blasting much.
Right. It's like an empty Nerf gun.
Yeah. It just kind of goes like.
It's just. Yeah. That's how that works. We understand anatomy.
Empty Nerf gun.
Sound.
Yeah.
Like a car backfiring in a Goofy cartoon.
Yeah. I started watching it, and there was no moment where I'm like, I'm not going to watch this anymore. I just sort of like life got in the way kind of situation. You know, it's one of those where it's like I have nothing against it. It looked good. I just at the time, so like I do need to circle back to it at some point.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and this is like an animated feature, I think, prequel.
Yeah.
Or
it's a prequel.
It's definitely following a different Witcher. I'm not sure if it is a prequel. It's definitely following different characters, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. There's multiple Witchers. There's multiple sorceresses. Why would not expand this world? I wrote that it was like, it looks like Castlevania meeting Avatar. Like, those two companies got together somehow or something with their animation style. And I was like, this looks great. This looks fun.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. Which that also reminds me, I need to get caught up on Castlevania.
God, there's too many shows.
There's too many shows.
I just because we were talking about Clive Owen, I just remembered Lacey's story, and I'm like, fuck, that's like a whole thing.
Lacey's, but yeah.
Lacey's, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all their names.
Yeah, it's just a name. It's a made-up word anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's so many fucking things. Like this one, Clickbait, the next trailer.
Good transition.
Yeah, this one is I've been hearing about this one for a while. It's about Adrian Grenier. He gets kidnapped and his abductor supposedly kidnapped. We're not, and we're meant to cast doubt like maybe he's kidnapped himself. But anyway, it appears that he has been abducted and that his abductors are forcing him to make these videos where it's like, if this gets to 5 million views, I die. I'm a terrible person. I assault women. I've murdered a woman. So it seems like it's just a very, very loud, sweaty allegory for cancel culture.
It feels like a straw man.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
We could take it. Cancel culture could go too far if someone was kidnapped and then like put on trial by a kidnapper on a YouTube service that keeps putting out the videos for some reason. Like, it's such a sweaty, weird scenario that they've concocted.
Yeah, they're leaning on that court of public opinion real hard.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
it is embarrassing. Like, there's no other word for this trailer. It's embarrassing.
And it's a mini series, so
I
we're gonna get hours.
There's like several episodes of this shit.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna end up like Gone Girl, where it's just gonna be like the twist is everybody's an asshole.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it might. It's just like the allegory is like it's misguided from jump because like we have yet to even demonstrate that anyone's life is over after being canceled, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking Louis C.K. still doing shows. Bill Cosby's out of jail.
Yeah,
like they're fine.
They're fine.
Absolutely fine.
Gina Carano is making a movie with the Daily Wire with a filmmaker named Eric Red who literally killed 2 people.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that checks out.
He's the screenwriter. He's the guy who made Bad Moon, and he wrote the original Hitcher. But like in 2000, he was fleeing the scene of an accident and drove his truck into a bar and killed 2 people.
Oh my god!
And then tried to cut his own throat with a piece of glass before the cops got there.
Jesus!
Whoa!
So he still has a career, and like Gina Carano got canceled, and now she's making her big career rehab movie with this guy. So it's like when we have something like the Monica Lewinsky, the impeachment American Crime Story on this list, where it's like her life really was catastrophically blown up in the court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right, people can get canceled, but not for being like a comedian that whipped their dick out.
Right,
like,
it's like very different. It's like they're not even treated the same way. It's you have to build up a whole, I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. It's dumb.
It just seems so tone deaf. Yeah.
Maybe this isn't that. This trailer really makes it seem like it's called clickbait. I will say the person creating it has made some good stuff. They made The Machinist.
Sure.
They made Session 9. They've made a lot of weird, interesting stuff. They directed some of The Wire. They directed some of Fringe. But that doesn't make this look any better. This still looks bad.
I think this movie would have done, like, I don't know, like, even just from the trailer, I'm already critiquing it as if I've, like, watched it. If they had, with the whole premise of, like, if it hits 5 million views, this guy dies, I would have, especially if this is serious, I want at the end of the first episode for them to hit 5 million and he dies, and then it kind of deals with the fallout from there. That maybe would be a little bit better, because it's like, oh, hey, here's an actual consequence kind of thing.
Yeah. It's for me, it's the stuff where he starts confessing.
Yes.
Like the 5 million or I die is still a sweaty thing about like, ooh, internet is bad. Can't like internet culture. Oh, we've done that for ages too.
It's a good creepy like concept. I could see a lot of people thinking like, what if that happened to me? But yeah, when you start adding all the things of like, I did all these horrible other things, just like, oh man. Now
then it becomes has society gone too far with cancel culture? And it's like,
yeah.
Well, it's just because the bones of what they're doing here is just a trial movie, right? It's like a guy's on trial for murder. You don't know if he's guilty or not. Mm-hmm. It's the same stakes. Yeah. His life is in our hands. What do we decide based on the evidence? It's the same fucking story. They just decided to make it this sweaty thing about cancel culture, which we haven't really. Everything we've barely had time to examine what the actual long-term context and consequences are, and everything that we've seen thus far shows that it doesn't last. Like it just, I don't know. It's this. Maybe it's not at all what we think it is, but holy shit! With a title like Clickbait and this fucking trailer and this premise, it's just like okay. I feel like you're Ricky Gervais trying to be controversial.
Right.
Yes.
there's stuff to explore with the concept, because there's cases where people who weren't famous got like the internet went after, like there's that, like the story of like the woman who sued her nephew for breaking her wrist. It's when you look into the story, it was like a specific insurance thing, and it was like she was doing it with an agreement with the mom. Or like the McDonald's coffee lady where you're like, oh, people sue about everything, and then you look into it and you're like, oh, she totally had to sue and should have sued.
The coffee melted her skin to the bone. Yeah,
that
was too fucking hot.
And so like everybody rallies around this like straw man that gets a few headlines. That is an actual problem with the internet that happens. But when it's a fucking like rich famous person being like, I'm canceled almost every single time. The only person where it's stuck is, I think, Roseanne. She was the only one that were like, and don't come back, and she didn't.
I mean, this time, like she got quote unquote canceled before her fucking show got revived.
Right.
That's true.
Right, that's true.
So like,
that's true.
What are you even telling me?
We're on round 5 with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
It when it comes to what this film clearly is trying to do, it misses the point.
Or maybe it should do like when this has happened a few times, when like the internet incorrectly identifies somebody as the suspect in a crime.
Right. Or like a Rebecca Black situation where we're all just really shitty to somebody.
Yeah.
And then like a month or two passes and we all go like, wait, why were we really shitty to that person?
That was a 14-year-old girl that we
just
all beat up publicly for a month.
Yeah. Which, again, it happens. When it happens, people don't realize it at the time. And that's what makes it insidious. This is just,
Yeah, a movie about, like, the empathy of internet culture would be actually interesting. Like, how we deal with empathy and where it goes and, like, how we lose it for, like, half a second sometimes and then, coming back. Like, that would be great.
Yeah. This reminds me of when, like, edgy movies in the 2000s would try to talk about reality TV as the end of society. And it was like, there are aspects of reality TV that absolutely can be explored, but this, like, sweeping, like, boomer logic, it just didn't work. It was so simplistic, and missed the nuance. And that's what this definitely does, right?
That's what it feels like.
It feels like that. I mean, we could be very wrong, and this is an amazing movie, and we're just like,
we're going by a trailer, but what they're laying down, this is what they wanted us to think. And I apologize to the writers or creators if, like, they weren't represented in this trailer, but from this trailer and this name, it just is repelling, I think. But yeah, it might be amazing. Who knows?
Yeah. Probably won't be, maybe it will be.
Maybe it is. It talks about all this nuance. Who knows?
Okay, let's move on.
All right, let's move on to a little trailer for Prisoners of the Ghostland.
I want to see this movie now.
Yes, right now.
We've been waiting for this movie for like a year, right?
Something like that.
This is Nicolas Cage.
With bombs attached to his arms and crotch?
And, arms, neck, and crotch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has to go into this no man's land territory known as the Ghostland to recover Sofia Boutella and escort her out safely. And it's a whole lot of people doing awesome fighting.
Mm-hmm.
and
like the visuals alone, it was just like this. I don't know what this is. This culture mash of everything. It's just strange and cool looking, and I'm just intrigued.
It's real like John Carpenter.
Yes, 100%.
What does this have connected to Mandy? Because I thought originally it was like the same director, but I don't think it is.
I think it's some of the same producers.
Okay, yeah, that company has been like, hey, Nicolas Cage, come over here. We're gonna make everything awesome. Because they also did. I assume it's the same circle around. What's it called? Color Out of Space.
That's what they advertise in the trailer. I don't know if it's necessarily the same because the production company is Spectre Vision, which is Elijah Wood's company.
Right.
So I don't know if it's the actual company Spectre Vision that's producing this, or if it's just like some of the producers that were involved in Mandy and Color Out of Space.
Got it. Either way, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it looks great.
They quoted Cage himself in the trailer. Like, this is the wildest thing I've ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that does say a lot now, doesn't it?
Yes!
That is... If Nicolas Cage is saying that, then it's like, yeah, I'm going to have to find out. It's got Bill Moseley in it.
It does.
Playing the character called the Governor, which is like, yep, that's exactly what Bill Moseley would play in a post-apocalyptic movie.
Otis Driftwood.
Yep. Who else is in this? Nick Cassavetes as Psycho.
Sure.
Nicolas Cage's character is simply called Hero.
Yeah!
Yes!
So it's like Tenet. It's this year's Tenet.
Yeah, it's this year's Tenet. I don't know what to say about this except what's already been said, which is I need to watch this immediately.
Yeah. It looks great.
Fucking delightful.
Yeah, it looks great.
Shit. And anything else? Any other thoughts on this?
No, it just looks amazing, and I need it in my house.
When does it come out?
Let me check real quick. Fucking Prisoners of Ghostland.
Prisoners of the Ghostland.
I don't... fuck. I don't see it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not... Oh, September 17th? This is like right around the fucking corner.
Yes.
I know.
Oh, yeah. We can go see the 9/11 one.
Oh.
Because that's coming out like a week before 9/11. It's like Halloween movies where they come out a little bit before, so you have time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one later in the.
Want to do a double feature?
Yeah, you can do a double feature. Oh yeah, September 17th. I don't know if it's theaters. I don't know if it's streaming. I assume this feels like a streaming one, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Yeah, like an HBO Max situation.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about news stories?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's name some patrons first. Big thanks to Kool-Aid Molotov says, "Fill me with the blood of your billionaires and drink deep, my brothers." Thank you to E.T. the Extravagant Terresticle. Thank you to Cody Johnston's Time Machine Noise. Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Woo!
Thank you to Glitterous, CFO of Michael Shannon's Chocolate Factory. Thank you to subscribe to Jason Pargin's Substack.
Woo!
Do that. Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Let me jump back in here. Well, thank you to Exploding Runes. Thank you to Andrew. Welcome back, Tom Howe. Thank you, Andrew. Welcome back, Tom Howe. Thank you to Vincent. Thank you to Rev
Thank
MD.
you.
Thank you to Dr. DNA. Thank you to Lauren Gucci.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
I love that all your producer names sound like steampunk D&D character people.
At least half of them probably are.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's talk about this Knuckles news.
Sure.
This is like a fucking parody. But, I mean, I'm sure he was offered a lot of money. Idris Elba is cast as Knuckles.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Sure, why not?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's done weirder stuff. He was in Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Cavity,
God.
yeah.
He was in Cats.
He was in a body stocking in Cats.
God damn it.
That's
that makes that whole movie
way weirder than voicing Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Holy shit. Holy shit. Sorry. It's like it's hitting me like a wave, like remembering that he was in Cats.
He was the only naked cat.
Yeah.
That's like
the only fully nude cat.
It's like trying to comprehend like the planet Jupiter and like being on it, where it's like you can't, like, it blows my fucking mind. Oh. Yeah, and so now he's Knuckles.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
Yeah, why not? I don't know.
The Sonic movie was better than I expected in the first one, so I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do this. Let's bring on Knuckles.
Yeah.
Idris Elba will be fine.
Yeah. Like The first Sonic movie was fine. It has nothing to do with the games. I'm not sure what possessed them to make that movie. But yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I don't know. I know this joke has been made 1,000 times, but I really just want to hear Knuckles start talking like Stringer Bell.
Yes. Oh yeah, that would be amazing if Knuckles is just straight up.
Do you think he's gonna not do his British accent as Knuckles? Do you think?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
This is gonna be controversial, but I think British accent feels more kids movie to me. Like that I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, yeah, a British accent feels more like it's the most approachable accent, which I'm not basing on British history or any logic whatsoever. So I don't know. I think they should go with the British accent. If they're
making Knuckles seem like a stereotypical, more sophisticated version of Sonic, I could see that being the angle there.
What if it's like a new voice? Because he does do accents. He did it in The Wire. What if it's like a fucking like cartoon voice, like a high pitched?
It's just doing like a Mickey Mouse voice, or that's Idris Elba.
Yeah, like you never know.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be pretty great. Yeah.
He like Idris Elba is also one of those actors where I'm like, every time I hear something he does, I'm like, I guess you can do that. Like he's a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell him no.
Yeah, I was just like, no. I suppose, go. Yeah, I would go to a show. I've heard him in some rap songs, and I'm like, I guess you do that too? Okay.
Yeah. Would it be all right with you if I hopped on the ones and twos? Yeah, by all means, please, get on there.
Yeah. He's running the show. He could become, I think he could become a U.S. senator. We'd be like, I don't think that's legal, but sure.
No, we would let it happen.
I guess, yeah, we would let it happen.
Yeah.
Fucking absolutely. Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah. I hope he continues to make delightfully weird choices like this.
Yeah. Well, he's like, he works. He does the work.
He works. He's in several things a year.
Yes. And he's always given it his all. And I don't know. He's great. He's great. No notes. No notes for Idris Elba.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move on.
Next story, Margot Robbie is joining Wes Anderson and a bunch of honkies for his next movie. Which one? What movie is this? Do you know?
No, because The French Dispatch is not yet out. And this is not it. This is his follow-up to that.
Tom Hanks is in this too? I was like, oh.
Yeah, T. Hanks, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty full up. I'm pretty full up with Wes Anderson. Like, that, nothing against him, but it's just like, it's kind of like the Marvel where I have some superhero fatigue. Like, I have Wes Anderson fatigue.
You got Anderson fatigue? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I have a similar feeling with Tarantino, where it's like, I'll see their movies, but I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired of it.
Yeah, it's not something to get, like, excited about. You're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go watch that.
Yeah, he hasn't done, like, he's just...
Well,
the fact that he does things the same every time makes his later films start bleeding together for me.
That's fair.
What were you going to say, Tom?
I was going to say Wes Anderson is somewhat unique among the kind of new wave of auteurs in that he puts out a movie pretty regularly. Like every 2 or 3 years, whereas like
good for him.
Tarantino will take 5 or 6, and then Scorsese takes however long he wants in between movies. It's,
right.
Yeah. Well, he's not part of the new wave, but it's like it's. So I think I don't know. It's interesting that you do sort of forget how many Wes Anderson movies there are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because he's been pretty consistently knocking them out since like the mid '90s. So.
Right, and it's always good when someone is allowed to make original films like this.
Yeah.
That are so unique. I never want that to go away. It's more like being someone who's been on the film nerd side for so long, who's been through film school and stuff like that. There's a certain exhaustion with these people. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to film school during a certain time, everybody is trying to be Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's that where it's like, I'm glad he's there, but there's a certain like, all right, enough already. And then the fact that they're all so white.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you gonna you gonna have a Beatles song in this one, huh? You think you're gonna put some old music?
I think he might. I think there might be
Wes Anderson?
I think there might be some Rolling Stones.
Yeah. You're gonna have funny but tragic characters. You're gonna have some funny but tragic characters, Wes Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
It would be a shame, but also like it's a shame because it would revolutionize his film style if he just did a movie with only black people. It would be like it would be he could do the exact same thing, like exact same type of storytelling, the highly stylized, but just change your cast and suddenly I would be like, this is the most fresh thing I've ever seen. And
or just have some, like, who would kill it in a Wes Anderson film? Idris Elba.
Yes.
Like, there are people who would do a great job that it feels like he's just, I don't know. I don't know how he casts. I don't want to make accusations, but boy, is his movies white.
They are.
And there's a lot of non-white actors who would do a great job and would be great in a Wes Anderson film.
Danny Glover is fucking great in the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes, I was going to say, I was like, that's the only one I could think of. And then, like, the Indian guy in...
that guy rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing is, my favorite thing about Wes Anderson films is seeing actors...
play against type.
Play against type. Seeing Bruce Willis in a Wes Anderson film, it's like it's the last time Bruce Willis actually tried.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't try. So, like, yeah, that's fantastic. I think it's also that he uses the same actors so much.
He does, yeah.
It starts to stagnate for me, where it's like, if he had a wildly new cast every time, I think I would like his movies even more, because it's such a style that it would be really interesting to see all these people do it.
Yeah, that's fair. There's certain people like Bill Murray. Like, he's got Bill Murray. Like, there's certain people that you would like. I don't know. You wouldn't, if that option was available to you to just automatically, whatever movie you make, Bill Murray will be in it. You wouldn't ever not use that.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah, right. You wouldn't say no.
But yeah, he does. Yeah, it's. I'm glad he's bringing in new people, but yeah, he really needs to diversify a little bit.
Yeah. I also think he needs to diversify his subject matter. Because I think it's like, let me guess, it's gonna take place in the past. It's gonna be a quirky location. There's gonna be a series of little things in it that, like, I don't know. I don't want to critique this too hard, because he does what he wants to do. He also does some fucking crazy stuff. He does stop motion. Mm-hmm. He does have a diverse enough.
I want to see him. I want to see him tackle like a different genre. Like, I want to see Wes Anderson like high fantasy.
That's what it is. Thank you. Is that a genre? Because they're all comedy dramas. I would love to see fantasy. I'd love to see horror. They're just. I think there's.
Have him shoot an action movie.
Yes. I think he's too comfortable, and I think his movies are starting to bleed together in my head. So I don't know. If people still enjoy his films, good on them.
Give Wes Anderson a Marvel movie or a DC movie. I want to see it.
Let's get a quirky Batman.
Yeah, give him Batman.
Who gives a shit?
Watch people lose their minds.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. All right. Tom, did you put in this last story?
I threw in this last one. It has changed. It went from probably to R. Sony has moved Venom 2 and the next Hotel Transylvania movie because of the Delta variant. So that means other studios will probably follow suit within the next week or two and start moving stuff again.
Is it pushed by a few months?
It's pushed into October for right now.
Yeah. Where it's going to play that game again where everything's like indefinitely pushed.
Yes, it's going to play that game, but it's starting again.
I mean, they might as well just reschedule it for next year, because as soon as we get to cold weather, like, going indoors is going to be even a bigger problem.
Right. Yeah. We need a new studio system or a new theater system and like we've talked about a million times, there's a reason why they have to nail down a date and all that. But like, and I get why some things simply, like, I'm glad they waited for The Green Knight. I'm glad I got to see that in theaters.
Yes.
So I get it when they have a movie that they're looking at and they're like, look, we could release it to streaming, but this is something we want in theaters, and for financial reasons too, obviously. But yeah, I wish they could just be like, look, we'll see. we're gonna bump it indefinitely until shit gets better. But I'm excited for seeing trailers for Venom 2 years from now.
Yep.
You know,
you're gonna get to keep watching that trailer.
Yeah.
So excited.
I already told you, Tom. The only trailer I'm really sick of right now, and it's not it has nothing to do with the movie, is fucking Free Guy. Just because they have saturated everything with Free Guy. So I'm glad that's coming out.
They had like 2 or 3, it's definitely coming out release dates that got pushed. So we've been barraged with like 3 different marketing pushes for it.
I used to be so excited for that movie, and now I'm just like, I feel like I've already watched it all.
Yep.
It's just the Lego Movie. That's all it is.
Right. It's Lego Movie, but video games. And I think it's not the movie's fault. It just, with the fucking pandemic and stuff, these marketing, like, they need to know, and I know, again, they're not psychic, but, like, they need to cool it if they know it's going to be a while on the marketing, so we're not sick of the movie when it finally comes out. I don't know. It's tough.
I wonder if that's an LA thing, too, because we already get oversaturated with the marketing for everything.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. Well, that's it for news stories.
Yeah.
You want to thank some more patrons?
I think we should thank the rest of the producers, Dave.
All right. Thanks to Tux.
Woo!
Hey, Tux. Thank you to Ricky Cilantro. Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Woo!
Thanks to Space McNulty.
Always.
Yeah, thank you to Oh Great, It's That Guy.
Woo!
Thank you to Nolan Mayton.
Woo!
Thank you to Vaccinated Man Andrew McGuire.
Yeah!
Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Tip Drizzle. TD.
All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Burrito Mouth. Thank you to Mrs. Voidus. Thank you to the Ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank
you to Aaron Burser. Thank you to David Knife Boot, Henson
Knife
MBA
Boot.
CPA. Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks Esquire. Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's Confusingly Large Dick Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vaccinated Jay.
And
thank you to Pie Guy.
Pie Guy.
Dave.
Yeah, baby.
Unlike Free Guy.
Yeah.
Is there a film that you think deserves more hype?
Yeah. You're right. Free Guy needs less hype at this point.
I will say that I've heard from everybody I work with that Free Guy is very good.
Right. It's not the fault of Free Guy.
Yeah, it's not the fault of the movie. It's just they minions it. Like, we're just like,
That's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
They've minionsed it.
They've minions it. Yeah, absolutely. They need to take... Yeah, I've seen, like, there's, like, sketches with Ryan Reynolds and, like...
Yeah.
There's so much marketing. It's like the marketing is its own movie.
They really want people to see it. Anyway.
They need to give some of that hype, and they got to give it to this movie. This is called We Need to Do Something. It's coming out September 3rd. Now, I want to say before I describe this movie was written before the pandemic. It was never meant to be, and it doesn't mention the pandemic. The reason that I bring that up is it's about a family trapped in a house who lose their mind. It was shot during the pandemic. They had to create their own little bubble for it, and they were really careful. This is... it's got Sierra McCormick, which is the main actress in The Vast of Night, if you watch that. I sort of already pointed out what it's about. It's about a family that, after a storm, a tree lands on their door, and for some reason, they can't get out. I guess their window... They actually show in the trailer the windows are all, like, modern and weird. So I think the idea is the house is built in a way where they realize, like, we can't get the fuck out of this house. but it also appears to be more psychological from that. Nobody comes to get them. It doesn't seem like there actually was a storm. Something seemingly supernatural is happening.
It's like...
And the family...
Go ahead, sorry.
Go on.
I was saying Sorry.
Star Ghost. She's the guest. Star Ghost.
Yeah, Star Ghost.
They had a daughter in the movie who was like emo, e-girl person, and it seems like she did some like demonic shit and unleashed something possibly.
Yeah, that's in the synopsis. The main character comes to realize that she and her girlfriend may have something to do with the horrors. So I think, they might have done some sort of weird demonic thing. I'm mostly attracted to this because the trailer looks really effective. Mm-hmm. I apologize, Star, because this is a horror movie.
I fully expect every time I come on, I was like, Dave's going to find every horror movie that's coming out.
Yeah. I was Prisoners of Ghostland, I think it's getting enough hype. That was going to be, I've been waiting for that for a while. That was another consideration, but this seems to be getting way less hype. It's IFC Films. You can check out the trailer. We need to do something. What do you guys think?
I'm intrigued by the premise. It was hard to get a gauge of how exactly the movie's going to go from the trailer. The trailer didn't do a whole lot for me, but the premise is an interesting offer.
Yeah. I liked the shot of the dad chugging mouthwash.
Just chugging Listerine, yeah.
Because he's chugging it out of terror.
Right, he looks like he's desperately drinking this Listerine.
Yeah.
Either he just accidentally ate some demonic shit, or they just ran out of alcohol in the house and he cannot deal.
Yeah. It looks very interesting. I think for a lot of people, because of that accidental pandemic association, people might be like, oh, I'm so sick of this shit. Because I know there's a lot of let's write a pandemic movie shit coming out. Mm-hmm. This was based off a novel. In the novel, I guess it was just a bathroom they were trapped into. Oh. And I get why they extended it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds boring.
That sounds like a bad movie.
Yeah.
Good book, bad movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Check out the trailer, people. It looks intriguing.
It might get some leeway because it's not about a disease at all.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's about isolation or about being trapped inside. And I think unlike a lot of movies where it's escape this area, since it seems to have a supernatural or psychological aspect, I think they're going to explain why they can't figure out how to get the fuck out. It seems like it's more complex than that. It's not just we're trapped, we're all going crazy. I think there's more supernatural horror at work. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's my movie.
Yeah. We need to do something. Check it out.
We need to do something.
And that's a sode, everyone. We did it!
Yay!
Woo!
Did it.
Oh, man. Star, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Of course. Anything you'd like to tell the world? Speak it. Speak it.
Read my webcomic, Ruby Whipple, RUBIWHIPPLE.com. And a fun thing I've been working on is I'm part of this Twitch collective called Racer Trash, and they remix weird movies and kind of vaporwave them and do all sorts of weird shit. You guys would be into it. However, there is a lot of flashy stuff, so
ooh, okay.
Seizure warnings on that. But it's a lot of remixing editors bored over the pandemic who are just let's do some weird shit to old movies.
I love that shit.
Yeah. So they don't keep the movies up on their Twitch stream because obviously for copyright reasons. So when they premiere something or put it out, it's kind of just there in the moment and it goes away. It's very weird art shit, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that I'm reading about it right now. Adam Wingard, apparently. Oh, this article lists director Adam Wingard and artist and designer Starline Hodge.
Yeah, I was in it, and I was like, "Why'd y'all put me in it? I've only been in one of these movies."
You're right next to Adam Wingard. That's huge. That's great. Yeah. So that shit. I gotta watch watch the shit out of this.
I will link you guys up the next time it is. But like for everybody else, like twitch.tv/racertrash, and they're also on Twitter. People post up like clips that they're working on all the time. It's really weird, funky shit, and it's so much fun.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, check that out.
Dave, tell me what we got going on.
We got a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. If you go on there, for $5 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts, such as Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama. Those are all on there. One is weekly, one is monthly, one is bi-weekly. It all comes to like 6 podcasts a month or something like that.
Yeah.
That you get for $5. And for $10, you watch movies every Friday night. That's tonight. With our patrons, we're currently watching the Twilight movie.
We sure are.
You know.
We sure
I
are.
didn't know you were doing that. Holy shit. I might tune in tomorrow.
Well, tonight. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. Tonight.
We're on the third one.
We're
on the third one.
Yeah, so we're greased up. We're really sliding through.
Boy, does nothing happen in those movies.
I love it.
We also have a store. The URL is complicated. It's a new one. I don't know it. So just go to gamefullyunemployed.com, and we have the link up there. You can get T-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. Check that out. And, leave us a review wherever you're listening to this.
Yeah!
Do that.
Yeah.
All right, say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.